Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, text 23 of the 8th canto, chapter 16, executing the Payuvrata process of worship. Adi Satvam Duja Sresta Vidhitam Upadhavanam Asutushyati me deva Sidantya saha putrakai. Word for word meaning, Adisha, just instruct me. Tvam, O my husband. Dvija Sresta, O best of the Brahmanas. Vidhim, the regulative principles. Tat, the Lord. Upadhavanam, the process of worshipping. Ashu, very soon. Tushyati, becomes satisfied. Me, unto me. Devaha, the Lord. Sidantya, now lamenting. Saha, with. Putrakai, all my sons, the demigods. Translation. O best of the Brahmanas, kindly instruct me in the perfect method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotional service, by which the Lord may very soon be pleased with me and save me, along with my sons, from this most dangerous condition. Purport. Sometimes, less intelligent men ask whether one has to approach a guru to be instructed in devotional service for spiritual advancement. The answer is given here. Indeed, not only here, but also in Bhagavad-Gita, where Arjuna accepted Krishna as his guru. Sisyasteham sadhimam tvam prapanam. Chapter 2 of the Bhagavad-Gita, text 7. The Vedas also instruct tad vigyanartam sagurung ibhavi gachet. Munduka Upanishad, Canto 1, Chapter 2, text 12. One must accept a guru for proper direction if one is seriously inclined toward advancement in spiritual life. The Lord says that one must worship the Acharya, who is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Acharya Mang Bijani Yat. 11th Canto, Chapter 17, text 27. One should definitely understand this. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that the Guru is the manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, according to all the evidence given by the Shastra and by the practical behavior of devotees, one must accept a guru. Aditi accepted her husband as her guru, so that he would direct her how to advance in spiritual consciousness, devotional service, by worshiping the Supreme Lord. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 16, Text 23. Adisa tvam dvija sresta vidhim tad upadhavanam asutosyati me deva sidancha saha putrakai. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyanangyana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapada Kamalang Shri Gurum Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaniswari Visavano Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kipa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Who needs a guru? Well, if you want material desires, you don't need guru. Guru means heavy. Heavy in a sense that he will cut your attachment, material attachment. That's why we're still in the material world, because we have material desires. Now, if we want to get rid of these material desires and attain the highest level of Krishna consciousness, then we need a guru. This is the first out of the 64 items in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. Gurupad Asraya, taking shelter unto the lotus feet of a pure devotee, spiritual master. There are 4 tattvas that very almost impossible to understand. Krishna tattva, Radha tattva, Shiva tattva, and Guru tattva. Especially when we heard, or during the first initiation in New York in 1966, they heard from Srila Prabhupada that the spiritual master is a manifestation of Lord Krishna. He's none other than Lord Krishna. And some of them, they became doubtful whether they will take initiation or not. They gather themselves and try to discuss. Says, okay, why don't we go and approach Srila Prabhupada? Or they call him Swamiji at that time. So they asked Prabhupada. And Prabhupada says, yes, because he's the most confidential servant of the Supreme Lord. He's the dearmost to Lord Krishna, and therefore he's none different than Lord Krishna. And he is due to be respected as the same level as Lord Krishna. Now they understood. Now the Guru doesn't say, I am Krishna. Guru says, I am servant of Lord Krishna. So, if one wants to or wishes to go back home, back to Godhead, then he needs the spiritual master. Tad bigyanartam sa gurung iba avigachet. Because he has understood the truth. And if one wants to understand the truth, then one must also offer service into him, inquire from him submissively. And then he will be able to understand also the same truth that's been realized by the Supreme Personality, Servitor of Godhead, the Spiritual Master. The Spiritual Master is a manifestation of Lord Nityananda, Adi Guru. He's the combined, Lord Nityananda is the combined form of all the spiritual masters. The spiritual master also is considered and called Acharya, an Acharya. Acharya, Srila Prabhupada explains in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the purport of the 11th canto, which we heard from the purport, also here, Acharyamam Bijaniyat, when Uddhava, who is the last person who had darshan of the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna was explaining about the 4 ashrams. The Acharya is a transcendental professor. It's like if you need to learn even in the material platform, you need a teacher or a guru. In the Philippines, we call teacher as guru. It has some Sanskrit words in the Philippines as well. Guru. So, ideally, the student has to live with the teacher so that he can be trained up under the care of the spiritual master. He can be taught about the intricacies of the Vedas, the imports of the Vedas. And ultimately, if one follows the instructions of the spiritual master, then one can elevate himself to go back home, back to Godhead. The Lord says that one must worship Acharya, who is the representative of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is very dear to the Supreme Lord. In the 10 offenses, while chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the gravest of them all is to disobey the orders of the spiritual master and to consider him as an ordinary man. To envy the spiritual master. That is the most grievous offense. It says that to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His Archa Vigraha form, you must be very careful because you're not dealing with ordinary thing. You're dealing with the Lord in His Archa Vigraha form. There's no difference between the Lord Himself and the Archa Vigraha form, but more dangerous is to when you worship or serve personally the spiritual master. Familiarity breeds contempt. In due course of serving the spiritual master, one may consider him as, hey, he's like me. How come he's having headache? How come he's getting old? The spiritual master is all perfect. As soon as we diminish the position of the spiritual master being a pure devotee, we'll commit offense. And when we commit offense, it will lead more to further offenses and eventually seeing ourselves deviating from the path of spiritual life. Today is most auspicious day also because Madhavendra Puri is one of our acharyas in our line of disciplic succession, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Madhavendra Puri took initiation in the line of Madhvacharya. And then from Madhvacharya, Madhavendra Puri, the Madhavendra Puri, Isvara Puri, and Isvara Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In India, previously, the Lord has been worshipped with awe and reverence. In the mood of Santa, neutrality, just like the four Kumaras. Servitor Chud, or Dasya, like Hanumanji. Fraternity. Sakya, the cowherd boyfriends of the Supreme Lord, where sometimes the cowherd boys will go on the top shoulder of Lord Krishna, carrying them, Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna, while playing. And then Vatsalya, in the mood of parenthood, parental, like Mother Yasoda or Nanda Maharaj. But not before Madhavendra Puri, no one has ever worshipped the Supreme Lord in Madhurya. Conjugal love, where it's been transferred to Isvara Puri, and then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully received the blessings from his spiritual master, Isvara Puri. From the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we've heard the story of Ramachandra Puri, who is one of the disciples of Madhavendra Puri. Now, this Ramachandra Puri has the habit of criticizing Vaisnavas. He would give them lots of prasadam, like Govardhan Hill. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Paramananda Puri met Ramachandra Puri in Kshetradam, Jagannath Puri, both Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Paramananda Puri offer their dandabats to Ramachandra Puri. The etiquette, even though Supreme Lord, he doesn't have to offer any obeisances to anybody. But etiquette-wise, he had to do it. Because in the disciplic succession, Madhavendra Puri is the guru of Ramachandra Puri, who is on the same level as Isvara Puri, and then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Paramananda Puri. So Ramachandra Puri, when he met them, he also offered obeisances, as sannyasis should do. If both sannyasis sees each other, they remind each other of Lord Krishna immediately. It says in the Shastras that sannyasis should not give blessings or don't pay obeisances. Because if we do, then we're not going to be able to move in one place, because so many are offering obeisances all the time. We pay obeisances to the danda. If you offer obeisances to sannyasis, you get the blessings, not the sannyasi. Blessings, most of the times in India, they ask blessings for material benefits. That's why, but sannyasis, they will give you blessings. Krishna matir astu. May you become Krishna conscious. So Ramachandra Puri prepared a big offering to Paramananda Puri. So much prasad that it could be eaten by 10 devotees. And so Paramananda Puri honored the prasadam. And immediately after he finished the prasad, Ramachandra Puri says, look, is this in the renounced order of life? Sannyasis should not eat a lot. Because if they do, then it's not good. It's not good. We should just eat as much as the soul and the body are being kept together. So, Ramachandra Puri went to see Madhavendra Puri, his spiritual master. And Madhavendra Puri was lamenting. He was lamenting because he is thinking that what is the use of this life? It is a waste because I have not found my dear Lord. There is a verse here in the Chaitanya Charitamrita whereby in the last stages of his life, he was uttering this. And he says that it's like Kaustubhamani is the most valuable gem that one can have. Kaustubhamani is the gem that Lord Krishna is wearing and is, right? Ramakanta Prabhu, right? It's like bluish color. But in the poetry, this is the king of poems. Ayidina dayadra nata hai matura nata kadava lokyase hridayam tvad aloka kataram dayita brahmyate kim karomi aham. O my Lord, O most merciful Master, O Master of Mathura, when shall I see you again? Because of my not seeing you, my agitated heart has become unsteady. O most beloved one, what shall I do now? This is almost as the same level as the Siksastakam prayers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yugayitam nimishena chaksusa prabhisayitam sunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. Viraha. Viraha means separation. So this Ramachandra Puri, unknowingly, he misunderstood. Unknowingly or knowingly, he criticizes Guru Maharaj. He says, why are you crying? Why are you lamenting? You should try to realize Brahman. Why are you crying? This is very not suitable for you. Because Ramachandra Puri, he's Mayavad. Mayavad means the person who understood that everything is Maya. The source of everything ultimately is avidya, ignorance. They don't accept that the root cause of everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Madhavendra Puri says, I don't want to see you. You go away. Because if I see you, I'm not be able to meditate on the Supreme Lord. He rebuked him. He says, please go. I don't want to see you anymore. Guru usually, generally, he never ever reject any disciple. Unless the disciple rejects the Guru. Even Arjuna, when Duryodhana approached him for learning martial arts, especially in archery, Arjuna did not say, uh-oh, you're on the other side. Because he's a teacher, he's a guru. Anyone who approaches you and takes shelter of you, you cannot reject him. But this Ramachandra Puri is an example whereby if he approaches you, you can reject him also. Because ultimately he's blaspheming the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master may take it, but the Supreme Lord, he will not take it easily because his pure devotee is being blasphemed. If we offend a devotee, the devotee, he doesn't take offenses because he's not in the bodily platform. Who feels the pain? It is Lord Krishna. In the heart of the Lord, the devotee resides, and in the heart of the devotee, the Supreme Lord resides. There is one disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada kind of pushed him away also. A personal servant. I'm sure Shrutakirti Prabhu knows this. He was telling Srila Prabhupada that this Krishna consciousness doesn't work. Indirectly, he was saying to Srila Prabhupada that you also not be able to give Krishna consciousness. And he's always morose. He's always like, you cannot paint his face. Frown all over. Face is the index of the mind. As soon as you see a person angry, you can tell he's angry. As soon as a person is telling lie, you can tell he's telling lie. As soon as a person is happy, you can tell he's very happy. And as soon as a person is sad and full of grievances in his heart, we should do service joyfully. Susukam kartaham abhyayam. This process is joyfully performed. Now this servant of Srila Prabhupada is like always like, grudgingly doing his service. So Prabhupada says, I think you should move along. The curse and the blessings of a pure devotee is purifying both. Prabhupada's telling him to go is for his own benefit, so that somehow, someday, he'll realize that, yes, I am wrong. Association of devotees and being with Srila Prabhupada is the most admirable, most relishable, most precious. So one day they were traveling again, and somehow one of the devotees found this devotee with long hair and beard. He says, Prabhu, why don't you come and see Prabhupada? See Prabhupada. He's here in town. So he came, offered his obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada says, why don't you come and join us? But then he says again, well, Srila Prabhupada, this Krishna consciousness it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So Prabhupada says, okay, you better go. You better go. Now there is one devotee and disciple of Madhavendra Puri who is the opposite of Ramachandra Puri. Isvara Puri. He was taking care of Madhavendra Puri in the last days of his life. And somehow taking care of him so in earnest, sincerely. When Madhavendra Puri, because of his old age, he has to pass stool, he will clean up after that. Who is that devotee? Lokanath? Is that right? Lokanath Goswami? Narottam Das Thakur? Right? That Narottam Das Thakur would after, of course he was hiding, that's a different one. But then later on, Lokanath Goswami gave him also initiation. Narottam Das Thakur, right? So Isvara Puri, because of his wonderful service that he rendered to Madhavendra Puri, he gave him full blessings, and the result is that Isvara Puri became the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This prayer that we cited, only 3 persons know. Radharani, Madhavendra Puri, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is a prayer of separation. Vipralamba. In our Gaudiya philosophy, the feelings of separation between the bhakta towards his beloved, Swayam Bhagavan, Purna Bhagavan, Sri Krishna is the highest. Is the topmost. I don't have any qualification to explain it. It says that because we don't have that kind of mood or bhav of our relationship with Krishna, that we're feeling separation, that's why we're still here. Because if you're feeling that kind of separation, you'll be crying all the time and you wish that you just die. But because today is Madhavendra Puri's disappearance anniversary, in the line of the Acharyas, we can explain a little bit. The gopis, and especially Srimati Radharani, they're always in this mood of separation. Especially when Lord Krishna went to Mathura. When Akrura took Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, they felt so much separation that they considered themselves to be no more life. That's why when Uddhava came to see them later on, when Lord Krishna sent Uddhava for a message towards the gopis and the inhabitants of Vrindavan, all of them look like lifeless. Their hairs are scattered. Their clothes are not fully tucked in. They're just like, like mad. Because they're mad for Krishna. The gopis, actually, this prayer came from the lotus mouth of Srimati Radharani. And this is the mood of the gopis, looking for Krishna. The gopis looking for Krishna. Especially also in that Rasa Leela dance, when Krishna disappeared, they're all looking. The gopis are looking for Krishna. The gopis and Srimati Radharani, they knew that they are the only one who can give the highest pleasure towards Lord Krishna. They knew. No one else. Of all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they give pleasure to Lord Krishna, but the topmost is that of the Srimati Radharani and the gopis. So they're looking for Lord Krishna to please. Where are you, O merciful Master? O Master of Mathura. Mathura not. When shall I see you again? Now, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this lust is prem. Is compared to lusty desire. Now, lusty desire materially is called kama. Desires for one's own benefit. These lusty desires of the gopis, Srimati Radharani, is not for their own benefit. It's for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami compared this to gold, and the lusty desire here in the material world, which culminates. Lusty desires in the material world doesn't mean money or woman. It means like that. But ultimately, lusty desire in the material world means one's prestige, one's position. The sannyasi can renounce wealth, woman, but we've seen some sannyasis. I'm not talking about ISKCON sannyasis, but Mayavad sannyasis. They want, I am the king. Oh, if you want to worship me as God, no problem. Worship me as God. I am God, actually. This is lust. Now let's say grihastas. One must be very careful also. Lusty desires not only big houses. It means that you don't want to be overtaken by your neighborhood, your neighbors. You want the best cars, you want the best of everything because you want to maintain your prestige. That is lust. Now the gopis' lust towards Lord Krishna is not to enjoy him, the beloved. They are the lovers. Gopis, Srimati Radharani, the object of love is Lord Krishna. But they want to give Krishna pleasure. So when you have these emotions, actually you want to keep it. You don't open it up because it can be destroyed. It can be hindered. There can be some impediments. There can be some obstacles. So when they say this, or when Srimati Radharani said this, that means she's hiding her feelings. Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur gave an example, just like a candle, a lit candle. You put it inside your room will be so bright. They say there is a brownout, no lights at all. One candle, it's enough for your room to be so bright. Now, if you put this candle, the same candle outside, it can be wavered. It can be by the wind. It'll be gone. It says you have to hide your bhajan. You have to hide your istadev. You have to hide your worshipable deities. That is your personal. You don't advertise to everyone that, you know, I'm doing this brat, I'm doing a Govardhan Parikrama, no. You keep it to yourself. Because you become proud. It can be destroyed. So these feelings of separation is the topmost. There are many more things. This is so deep. We cannot comprehend right now. As we quoted this morning during the Mangal Artik time, Bisaya, Chariya, Kabe, what's that? Suda Habe Man, Kabe Habe, Harina, Herebo, Si Vrindavan Dham. That as long as I have these material desires within my heart, these anarthas, lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy especially, which is we cannot be dumped in Krishna consciousness, then we will not see Vrindavan. That means we will not realize Krishna. We will not be able to chant the holy name of the Lord purely. Not possible. But somehow or other, today is the most auspicious day to pray to Madhavendra Puri. That somehow He bestow His blessings and mercy upon all of us. That by chanting the holy names of the Lord purely, our hearts will become purified, and someday we'll be able to attain this pure devotional service towards the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, it is not possible without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, a pure devotee like Srila Madhavendra Puri. His level of bhakti is so high that he's the one who introduced Ragamarg, this spontaneous love towards the Supreme Lord in conjugal mellow. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says we should follow in the footsteps of the Brajabasis, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, specifically the milkmaids, the gopis. Because that is no other sampradayas. They also go back home, back to Godhead, but there is no one who offers this Braja Prem. We're so fortunate. It's a privilege to be part of Srila Prabhupada's family. As we were reading the other day, this process is not very difficult. The Krishna consciousness process is not very difficult. But at the same time, it is not easy. We have to pay the price. You have to be greedy. So like the materialists are greedy for money, we should be greedy for service. Service without any offenses and our mind into it. As Prabhupada says, you know, you can be busy going back and forth doing service, but if your heart is not into it, if your mind is not into it, your heart, you don't put your heart into what you're doing, then that is not bhakti. Sometimes we see devotees like this. Too many things on their plate, but not able to do nicely. Because their heart is not there, their mind is not there. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments from Maharaj?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about that very nice example from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur about the candle, take it outside it, make it blown out and protect it inside. So we keep our bhajan.
Yeah.
So there's a dynamic. We don't want to take pride, we don't want to be praised. We run away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But the other side is the Vaishnava. We like to praise the Vaishnavas. We like to glorify them.
Sure.
So I don't want to take glorification, but I like to glorify. But so how does that dynamic work?
Somehow choose a service whereby we can offer to Lord Krishna. We're expert in that service. It's like one devotee told me the other day, well, Dinabandhu Prabhu is good in going to many, many places. It's like the two brothers in Mayapur. So humble. They don't advertise themselves. And he says, I want to be also like, I want to choose the service where I can devote my time. And it's an offering to the Vaishnavas and Srila Prabhupada. Devotees, they're not boasting their service, but we can see how dedicated, how seriously they're doing their service for the Supreme Lord and the Vaishnavas. So that is fine, that is acceptable. But if you see someone who, like Jayananda Prabhu, Jayananda Prabhu is always at the back, but Prabhupada will be looking, where is Jayananda? Because he knows he's always engaged. He's the first one to wake up, he's the last one to sleep. So, we don't show, but others can see. Achintya Veda Veda Tattva here. We know others, they show, but they show in a different way, opposite to what it should be, and therefore they need help. They need help. Others who are showing good, please praise them. Be grateful to them. Tell them, Prabhuji, you're doing really nice to Lord Krishna and his devotees. This is admirable. I want to learn like you. Make him more and more real devotee of the Supreme Lord. Others, well, what can we do? We try our best. Try to encourage them, inspire them. As Shutakirti Prabhu was telling the other day, Prabhupada's care and protection towards the devotees, unlimited, unfathomable. You cannot find the depth of that. So, yes, our movement is meant to encourage each other, praise each other, but there are also, we have this personal worship, personal bhajan that you don't have to advertise, but we can see that you are very, very advanced.
Very good. I'm convinced.
Jai. Any other thing we need to? Yeah, Malati, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Can you turn it on, please? Maybe on the bottom. Don't turn it off. Once it's on, it should be on. There you go. Hare Krishna.
So it's a little bit of a technical question, but it's a discussion that has come up about whether or not a husband can initiate his wife. So here it is said the husband came for guru.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say whether or not she was initiated.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what you could say about that.
Guru can be Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, Bhartmana, Pardakshina Guru. Anyone who you introduce to Krishna consciousness the first time, you're a Guru. You told him about Krishna as the Supreme Lord, you're a Guru. In initiation, there is Nam Diksha and there is Mantra Diksha also. In our Gaudiya philosophy, Mantra Diksha is different than Nam Diksha. Mantra Diksha will get you closer to the spiritual master or closer to the Supreme Lord. You can worship the Supreme Lord. But Nam Diksha, you can go back to Godhead. You don't need Mantra Diksha to go back to Godhead. Everyone, I know, I would like to get second, then they don't do any service. Only when the Guru is kind, Jai Jai Guru Dev, but then when the Guru lives, then Hare Krishna. Don't do anything. You don't see them in the temple. But here, she doesn't have any one to take shelter of and ask help. The wives always taking shelter of the husband. He's there as the head of the family. He's there to take care of everything, financially, spiritually. So it didn't say here that she took Nam Diksha or Mantra Diksha, but it's understood that he was the Guru of Aditi.
You're on your own, man.
We have stalwart devotees here with us. I'm sure they can give you. But as much as I can understand, there is no yagya done, swaha, and then giving the, the mantra or anything.
Would it be forbidden, or it's not proper?
Nowadays, usually, I know some spiritual master or a spiritual master who gave initiation to his mother. Mother. To the mother. And the father. I don't see anything wrong there. But you see, because they were brought up in Vaishnava family. But in a material sense, yeah, I know you before, and now you're like this. Well, it's different mood. Like, it's not the same. Can you understand what I'm trying to say here? If you were born in a Brahmana family, then usually you follow the rules and regulations right from the very beginning. Your parents are very ideal. If both husband and wife, they came from a Brahmana family and they're really like Vaishnava family, then. But I never heard right now. Have you heard anything that the wife took initiation from the husband?
Yes, we have heard.
Okay.
But apparently, this happened in France, so that now it's become a topic of discussion.
The topic of discussion.
Whether or not this is proper or not.
Generally, they do not.
Generally, yes,
Now,
yes.
there's one exception in ISKCON, but
This is like in eons or so many millions, and this is the beginning of time. Nowadays,
the exception does not make the rule.
yeah, the exception doesn't make the rule. It's not, it's rarely. Your husband and wife, usually they fight. How can you fight with your guru? There is no fighting, there is no wedding, there is no marriage, no perfect marriage. If the wife says, no, I don't want to cook for you today. No, Guru Maharaj, I have to cook for you. The mood is not there. They don't, rasabas. Nitai Gaur Premanande! Srila Prabhupada Ke! Hare Krishna.